Hi, it's DelusionDispeller again. My husband wanted me to make mention that when I said you only have a 3-minute attention span, that wasn't meant to be an insult. It's actually scientifically proven that people can only, at most, pay attention to something for 15 minutes at a time. And that's if it's super, super interesting. Which makes me wonder why a lot of pastors go on and on for a whole half hour when they know people are really tuned out by that point. Anyway, the reason I said 3 minutes is we have a way to look at our videos and see who's viewing, and that seems to be my average is maybe 3 to 5 minutes on my videos. So I'm trying to keep them concise. People live busy lives. I get it. I do too. So I'm trying to keep them, cut down to reasonable amounts of time. I'm not sure I really sit and watch long, long videos either, unless it's like Dr. Phil or something like that. Anyway, let's get back into the topic of discussion here, which is emotional, psychological, and mental abuse. All right, so the next thing I have is that um, you tell somebody something in private, something, well, I really think she put on some weight, or I don't like the way she does her hair, or something, and they walk up to the person and say, hey, did you get a new hairstyle? And they're like, no, why? Well, because my wife says she doesn't like the way you do your hair. Or something like that. That's abusive and it's wrong and it shouldn't be said. When you tell somebody something privately, that should be between the two of you. If somebody consistently does that and embarrasses you, you don't need to be staying with them because they're not looking out for your, I guess, reputation, I guess. They're not making you look in a good light like they should if they love you and they care about you. All right, so that's that. Um, some of these are both physical and emotional psychological, so I'm skipping over those because I want to do that on a different video. Not registering your kids on school for time. Yeah, let's try that again. Not registering your children on time for school. Man, I said that totally backwards. Um, they forget again to register the children to start school. And you know that they knew about it because it's written on the calendar, and you reminded them before you went to work. And you come home and you get a call from the school. We're just wondering if your children are attending here this year because they're not registered. And you're like, honey, you were supposed to register them. Oh, yeah, that's what I forgot. And you know he didn't forget it, just didn't bother to do it. And again, I'm talking about consistently doing this. So everybody makes mistakes and forgets, but I'm talking about a pattern of 9 times out of 10 putting your needs last and just doing what they want to do and forgetting what matters to you, or just skipping over it, not caring what matters to you. And some people are really cruel about it and say, well, I just figured you could get around to it and do it when you wanted to. It's not something you can do when you want to. There's certain registration days, and if you miss those days, then it makes it really complicated to get your children into school. But that's another form of abuse if it happens consistently. Um, okay, here's another one. Your husband or wife knows that you want to go back to school yourself. You have your heart set on getting a degree in something, and you have to have them fill out their financial information for you to get this degree. But they conveniently forget to fill out the paperwork, or they just flat out refuse to do the paperwork. Well, you wouldn't be good at that anyway. I went through that. Hairstyling. I always wanted to be a hairstylist, cosmetologist. My ex-husband said, well, let your daughters do that. They'll be better at it than you would. You wouldn't know how to cut hair. You don't even style your own hair properly. That's abusive. And he conveniently, even though 3 times, I think, or 2 times, I went, took the test, passed the test, the entrance exam to get into the hairstyling schools, and both times refused to do any of the paperwork or give me his financial information so I could go to school. Abusive. If they don't support your dreams, then you don't need to be with them. Point blank, period, end of sentence. Okay. Making you do things that are difficult for you, and maybe things that not only something, maybe lifting something that's too heavy for you, doing a job that's definitely not something you could do, physically or otherwise, and then putting you down because you refuse to do it, or making fun of you for trying to do it. I actually had, this was the second ex-husband. I bought a grill and I told him, I think I could probably put it together. He's like, fine. And he threw the tools down. He said, go ahead, go to it. And stood there and laughed at me while I proceeded to figure out how to put this. It wasn't a grill, it was a lawnmower. Well, I tried to put the lawnmower together. And when I asked him for help, he's like, nope, you said you would do it. I'm waiting. Go ahead, do it. Show me you can do it. And amazingly, I did do it. I did put the lawnmower together in spite of all that. But that's not the point. The point was that was abusive. I asked for help, and he mocked me the whole time I was trying to figure it out, made me feel belittled, and wouldn't help me. So, yeah, abuse. Let's see. A big one. And then I'm going to end this video for now. Threatening to kill themselves. Borderlines do this a lot. Well, if you don't accept me and you don't love me and you don't treat me like your boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm going to kill myself. I'll take this whole bottle of pills, or I'm going to slit my wrists, or I'm going to jump off the roof, or whatever it is. That's abuse. That's emotional, psychological, and mental abuse that you should not stick around for. And if somebody is that messed up in the head, they need to get help that you can't give them. You don't need to be the target of that constant emotional turmoil and threat. It's not healthy for you. It's not helping them having you stay and put up with that either. So you need to leave as soon as possible. All right, I'm going to do more on the next video. Thanks for watching. I will be right back with video number 3.